had this shit become a separate. Shit be one second, yeah, done and dead it. When I'm fucking gas, I ain't stopping automatic. Cause this my fucking medic, yeah. You hating on me from a tiny house. You're looking up in the face, you look like Mighty Mouse. In the PM, I be creeping when the neighbors like to tell. You don't be coming with no clothing when I show a place about. Y'all might need to fucking naked, yeah. Bitches fucking naked, yeah. I'm fucking naked, yeah. Bitches fucking naked, yeah. I don't wanna see you, that's another way, yeah. I don't wanna see you, that's another way. Fucking naked, yeah. Bitches fucking naked, yeah. I'm fucking naked, yeah. Bitches fucking naked, yeah. I don't wanna see you, that's another way. I don't wanna see you, that's another way. Fucking with the flame, I should be DOA. Underneath the ground is where you need to stay. All I want is pleasure, I don't need no pay. If life a water stream, let me see my way. I'm on a mission like Indiana Jones, but these niggas just a tumor. Yeah, I got a vision that don't nobody knows. It's something I gotta do. You crash, man, the cool face, having ass bitches, and I have a bag of plan. This might be the reason you don't really have a man. Cause everybody gotta be bucket naked, yeah. Bitches bucket naked, yeah. Bucket naked, yeah. Bitches bucket naked, yeah. I don't wanna see you as another way. I don't wanna see you as another way. Bucket naked, yeah. Bitches bucket naked, yeah. Bucket naked, yeah. Bitches bucket naked, yeah. I don't wanna see you as another way. I don't wanna see you as another way.
Batman. Batman. No. Oh, so okay, this look a little better now. So I know, when I'm on the road and stuff like that, don't go live on that one. I'm saying that when I'm sitting around somewhere, just go live on that one. They weird. I don't know if they be crashing server software systems, synchronicity, frequencies, messing each other. I don't know yet, but I don't like it. Now, we got the moon being in Pisces right now. We got the sun in Cancer. So there's going to be some, like, it might not have to be as flunked out as it usually be because Pisces getting help. And that's not to say Pisces energy is always flunked out. It's just giving us a correspondence of how to break certain things down and things of that nature. So when we start to talk about the moon in Pisces and stuff, our emotional state might be in a realm of creativity, imagination, but it could also be in the realm of delusion, false lights, false beliefs, false face, and things of that nature. So there may be certain fears that we may believe in that ain't necessarily a fear to other individuals. There may be certain religions or beliefs that we have faith in that might not be necessarily the things we should have faith in, and that could bleed into or pour over into how you see people, places, and things. Also, anytime we are experiencing the moon in Pisces, this family member, associate, this coworker, this friend, however the case may be, may not necessarily be what you believe and things of that nature. And that's not always to say when the moon is in Pisces, everything is a delusion. Also, you might see clear representations in front of you that allow you to believe, that allow you to see. So don't get foggy into thinking I'm just breaking down from an astrologer aspect of what to be aware of and what's possible. Not to say that's always going to happen, because a lot of times I understand y'all may come across a lot of other astrologers, and even such myself when I'm joking around a lot. As soon as we get to Pisces, it's all extremely flunked and stuff like that. And that's not always the case. You see what I'm saying? It's just making allegories to stuff. But that's what can be possible. But what can be in front of you is the most creative time ever when it comes to observing your emotional intelligence and being able to direct that energy into some type of art, creativity that you have, some type of passion that you have, some type of circumstance you want to be in that make you build your comfort zone and stuff like that. And that's how it's supposed to be used on a higher octave side. Now, the lower octave side is everything that I did break down, which can be a possibility. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to experience that for all of us just because the moon is in Pisces, but it can be a possibility for our emotional state to be attached to something that's a false belief, or put faith into the wrong things, or have false delusions about people, places, and things that's going on. And we may react or respond with a prejudging energy that may make us plant bad seeds or put bad blood on our hands and stuff like that. So we got to be aware of all those energies. And with the sun is in Cancer, it's a 120-degree angle. So it could create like some type of circumstance where if you was to be in a delusion or something like that, what we see as far as the sun is going to present itself as it like it makes sense. It's going to present itself like, oh, that's the comfortable decision to make. It's going to present itself like, oh, this is the right one or the right thing or the right opportunity or whatever the case may be. And if you're not really sufficient about the Cancer energy, Cancer always going to make you search for something that's comfortable, and that may not always deal with business, expression, passion, individuality. Sometimes it's more predicated on holding yourself back from something in some way, shape, or form. So if you're not using the Cancer energy in the right way to find comfort zones in the things that you want to do anyway, you will allow Cancer to make an excuse to why whatever Pisces develop being in the moon to make it make sense. And it might be a way for you to make an excuse to procrastinate about something, or because you're not comfortable enough to do something yet. And you may think that's the right decision of whatever you're doing when you're coming up with that idea to not do something. So be careful of that too. You know, when it's extreme water energy in the world, which is a lot of alignments in water right now, this puts us in a state of not necessarily wanting to do anything unless we feel comfortable. And you won't even have a possibility of hitting the lottery if you're a person that's more predicated, putting importance on comfortability than other aspects in life. You know what I'm saying? And actually, comfortability sometimes will lead you into a lot of blockages, routines, and patterns, and South Node energies that make you start to experience a hell. Ouch! Pardon me, y'all. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Because when you find a comfort zone, it appears to be a right decision at the jump. But once you start to play into it for a large period of time, it starts to build frustrations in areas that you're unaware of. And you'll find yourself playing out your frustration on unwarranted areas where really the actual frustration is you, the situation you stuck yourself in. But the people, places, and things you may manifest in that space is where you might start taking out your frustration on. And a lot of times it's how you built your own hell and stuff, or built a frustrating character about yourself where it's hard for other individuals to be around you. Now, also, thank you so much for the donation, Mr. Jabari5. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. So when we get into these water energies right now, you'd have to know how to use it. Now, if you got a lot of air or fire in your chart, you know what I'm saying, you might be a little debilitated. Earth, you might know how to support, but the way you supporting is supporting debilitated things or flunked out type things. So you could cause yourself to react in a more emotional way than you usually do, due to the fact of these energies that's playing out right now. So you just need to make sure that these water energies don't make you make too many decisions that's not practical, rational, earth, not something that you can't express that internal emotion outwardly, so it could become a fire cloud, aka fire. Express the feeling, emotion, or something that you feel like is not enough oxygen in that hydrogen yet. So you think it's not enough communication or someone having said something to make you feel comfortable enough to open your vulnerability. See, so when you're diving too much and you're lacking those energies I just explained, that's like water, fire, and air. I mean, earth, fire, and air. And for the most part, being too lost in water, regardless of what sign you is, you may develop more comfort zone and stuff that makes sense in your mind that kind of leads out outwardly as detaching in some way, shape, or form, all the way down to your gifts and passions. You don't want to detach from your gifts and passions, but you might not even be looking at these things like gifts and passions right now. You might be looking at these things like stuff that need to go into the back seat, and you need to take care of some shadow work or some stuff like that. And you might make up a shadow work that you think you need to do based upon it really in the outwardly, it really just a comfort zone that you jumped in as an excuse to not do something. But you may think or make up something you think you have to do spiritually or shadow work wise, and think that that's the part of the mission that you got to do before doing point B. And this is how you actually play out procrastination energy, thinking that it was the right decision right now with all this water. So you got to be careful. It could be something as simple as a manager or something like that actually getting ready to, like, you might have really wanted to work that job last week, but you might have gave yourself a certain decision because you had other opportunities. So you might have been like, in your mind, if the manager don't call this day next week, then I'm going to fully make a decision of something else in some way, shape, or form. And let's say the manager called that day or the day after your deadline in your mind, right? You might be in your water emotions right now to be like, well, I don't feel like going to that job anymore. And then for the most part, that job might be the better than the other job that you kind of like put in your mind that you're going to choose that because of the bias energy you put behind the previous job that you went for. In your mind, you was like, oh, well, if they don't call me at this time, so that mattered more than the pay rate or something like that. So any other time where it's like planets and earth, or especially air, you will logically get out of your emotion. Fire will probably even be worse than water right now. But air and earth, you will get out your emotion, and you probably wouldn't even logically made no deadline in your mind. You probably would have came up with all kind of ideas like this is the first choice, and any other choice come is the last result. But I'm willing to wait to the last end. Thank you so much for the cash app. I'm willing to wait to the last end, right? Now, when it's in water or fire, like I said, it's probably worse than fire. You might call and say, never mind, if it's fire, based upon your feelings. But the water, you might create a delusion to not do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So right now, that time may come up, right? And you might be in your emotional funk. Well, like, I made this deadline and they ain't called, so I feel comfortable taking the other job because I don't care about the pay rate or nothing. And you might not even be thinking about that so much if you in your emotions a lot. You might just be like, I feel more comfortable because they called the direct deadline. So that spirit telling me that that's the right decision to make and things of that nature. And you might allow your feelings to redirect you from taking the actual better choice and things based upon what emotion you developed around it and the deadline. You see what I'm saying? So be careful with that kind of energies right now too. And I just made that as an example. This don't have to have anything to do with no goddamn job. You know what I'm saying? Just learn how to take what I'm saying and take that into all y'all experiences and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I just be trying to make something that everybody could relate to but still pull out if they're not going through that specific type situation. The best way to explain something. How? Because, these are things we get lost in, period. But when there's no description about it or no one explain exactly what's going on, it'll be something that we just do throughout the day like it's normal, and it's really something we're supposed to have a hold on. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's like the little stuff in life that matters. Now, so we also got the Sun conjuncted Mercury in Cancer, acting on our thoughts we care about. So any ideas you come up in your mind that you actually start to develop and start to care about and things of that nature, you're going to feel the necessary need to act on these things in that nature. So that's a good thing right now, because there's not a lot of actions being taken in the world anyway when it comes to changing the world, or if you don't want that mission or whatever like that, just doing anything, creative gifts, passions, connections, and stuff like that. A lot of people are too withdrawn and things of that nature, and then it's summertime and things of that, and we don't really have a lot of time to be wasting anyway. So for the most part, this is a good time for acting on things. And if you don't allow the water energy to put you in no procrastination space, you will be able to use that creative emotional intelligence towards action. You know what I'm saying? Able to feel the vibe and be like, okay, yeah, it's the right time. And then you'll really be able to understand too that it ain't never the right time. The only right time is when you choose it. So waiting for the right time is actually the wrong idea of it, because when you look back in your life of every decision that you made, you had to make that decision, and that was the time it was made. So anytime you put yourself into some type of mental force field that you have to wait for a time or something like that, then that's letting you know you're not changing the world. You're allowing the world to change you in some way, shape, or form. Now look, we also got Sun trine and Saturn. So we're going to have this gift of seeing the reality of if we was flunked out, or if we built the right comfort zone for ourselves. So we also going to be able to sit back and reevaluate that too. You know what I'm saying? Because when you flunked out, that just means you planted some bad seeds. So you might got people, places, and things or circumstances that you don't necessarily feel all the way up to deal with, but you got to deal with in some way, shape, or form. That lets you know, like, you got confirmations of being flunked out. And we all got it on a percentage scale. So it's just about rearranging the percentage scale, evening out and balancing it out. Ouch. Everything is a percentage scale. You ain't gonna be perfect. And whatever idea you got about being perfect, that's the wrong concept. It's all about readjusting, realigning, reapplying what's already going on. Not necessarily trying to protect yourself from what's going on. That'll lead you down a world of hurt, a world of hate, a world of frustration, a world of holding yourself back and stuff like that. So you want to be careful with that too. Like sometimes you just have to allow things to happen, and then that'll save you a lot of thoughts and feelings to be added on to it to lead to more frustration and depression and stuff like that. Now, we also got Sun, Trine, and Neptune in Pisces. So with Sun, Trine, and Neptune in Pisces, this is a situation where we have this gift of actually acting on our faiths, our beliefs, our imagination. So if you plant good seeds and you got the right idea about things and stuff of that nature, then this is a good time for that too. Now, if you are a delusional person, you're going to act on a whole bunch of delusions and stuff. So this is a very bad time. You want to make sure you don't make no mistakes, do some hasty decisions, you know what I'm saying? Burn bridges with family, friends, and associates that didn't necessarily have to be, just because you in some weird emotional funk and you allowed the sun in Cancer to make you feel comfortable enough to think that that's the right decision to start expressing yourself in that manner. So you have to be careful with that too. You know what I'm saying? Sun sextile in Jupiter, and Taurus. So we got this opportunity to take whatever that we do want to manifest in our life as far as dream, home, family, and things of that nature, and we're able to expand on that or actually experience it to a certain degree or act on it or make it perceived to be a potential in some way, shape, or form. So it ain't a lot of negative energies going on right now due to the fact of, and Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, and by Cancer being in the sun and it's sextile in Jupiter is giving it a more boost, is giving a boost for you to materialize or make money or manifest if you're doing it for the sake of love. If you're doing something for the sake of anything else or whatever, like, so love could be anything that you're invested into that you're willing to compromise with, or that you love, appreciate, value, or relate to. So if you're doing things based on that, then you will be able to expand in your area of materializing, manifesting, and stuff like that. But if you're doing things for selfish manners, proving things to others' manners, stuff like that, then that's negative. Jupiter is not going to expand with the sextile of Taurus and Cancer. It's just going to expand as you creating more space to be alone or isolated, or more space to be uncomfortable with yourself, or more space for you to sit somewhere and still have to imagine instead of putting in the groundwork and actually seeing that dream come true in some way, shape, or form, which could very well be possible right now due to the fact of all the sextile energies between water and earth. You see what I'm saying? So everybody's dreams can come true right now if you actually put in the work and the effort. All possibilities want to see, which is God. That's the real God. All possibilities want to see is you put in the effort, and everything else will fall into place. The more all possibilities see you sit back and try to reevaluate something for your own sake of what you see it, or something like that, that's going to be considered ugly. And God gonna build all possibilities, gonna build resistance and distance between you and your dream. And in this aspect right now is dream home, dream family, or dream comfort zone in some way, shape, or form. And we may have a different type of circumstance when the moon start to go into Aries, because it's a transition. It moves, our moon moves fast. So a lot of times it's about staying up to task. You could get washed up under the current, cling on to one emotion, and be starting to do these things at a time you're supposed to be using that as an add-on to the new shift, the new moon phase. And that's how you may plant bad seeds, manifest a whole bunch of people, places, and things that's really outdated to the current energy, while you holding on to it because it's a sake of desire or something that suits your insecurity or something like that. And if you keep adding on to that energy, a whole bunch of things that develop between you and these objects or these places or these things that eventually you're going to have to separate from, but it may be at a harder cost. So a lot of times it's like that aspect of the higher we jump, the harder we fall. So we have to make sure we don't excite ourselves into faulty or false beliefs or energies in our lives that don't really cater to our stability or our security, and we're really trying to secure ourselves in our life for the rest of our life and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? Now, also we got Sun sextile Uranus. So this also a time that we could take the ability to make changes in the home, make changes when it comes to family, make changes when it comes to comfort zones, make changes when it comes to privacy and things of that nature, and rearrange these things so they can look more like the stuff that we want right now. Because a lot of us has woken up into a different way of seeing things, and life is no longer the same how it used to look. whether it's dealing with relationships, people, places, things, uh, um, how we feel like we need to express ourselves. Like a lot of us right now feel like we haven't been expressing ourselves the way we supposed to, and we probably got this whole new enlightenment right now of what we rather express. And depending on what we have already accumulated, you're probably looking around right now, and there's probably not a lot of people, places, and things that's around you currently that you could fully express this new energy that you are in. And then on top of that, the way you've been feeling, you're feeling like it's not even necessarily a new energy. It's something that always been dormant in you. It's just haven't had the time to unleash. And now you're going through that little friction right now. When is the right time to release it, or is it worth releasing at all, due to the fact of what kind of shabby world we in at the moment, and we're not around no one but agents and stuff. So it gets into a real weird, tricky spot. And here's the thing: with all these water energies and stuff, it can still cloud our judgment. Keyword: cloud our judgment into actually wanting to do anything at all, and then that can lead into more procrastination. So we have to be careful. Oh, pardon me, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm saying that's one of the reasons why I ain't necessarily even. I don't want to get back into that. I'm well, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. So keep that in mind too. And when there's a lot of water energies in the sky too, this could be a recharging time, even just mentally. If nothing wrong with you physically and stuff like that, even mentally, this could be a recharging time. So that can lead into ideas of stuff of not necessarily fully to the maximum percentage level of procrastinating, but stuff that'll lead you to thinking that, okay, it is good to let me observe for a little bit and things of that nature before fully putting in the full energy and stuff like that. But make sure it doesn't go too high on a percentage scale to the point that now it starts to look like procrastinating. You don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So also we got Sun square Chiron in Aries. So with the Sun square Chiron in Aries, now for the most part, like I said, we're gonna have to learn how to see through the cloudiness of whatever that we're judging, because we can make a mistake. And when it's time for us to go for our passions, motivations, and our desires, we may miss a train, we may miss a boat, we may miss an opportunity, we may miss a circumstance. So we have to be careful. So we have to know how much fire to put out or how much water to evaporate when it comes into this square alignment right here. And they're both cardinal. So you're gonna have to be the one to initiate, but you're gonna have to be the one to know what kind of steam room to make it. So what type of volume the steam is gonna be on. You know what I'm saying? Now this is very creative alignment, but if it's not dealt with in a sufficient manner, it could be very chaotic and burn like hot steam and things of that nature to burn the skin off. So for the most part, it's about adjusting how much needs to be evaporated as water and how much needs to be put out as far as the fire and the heat. And finding that little sweet spot is the most creativity in all realms, because that's how we spark the air and the earth. So when it comes into Chiron, this is based on us being able to have possibilities of making mistakes when we're doing things that deals with our passions, motivations, and our desires that we're trying to do alone. So if we're not doing the things that we're supposed to do, but let's say we're doing it negative and it's supposed to be things that we do alone in this area, but things we're not supposed to do alone in other areas. And we're supposed to take our individuality and add it to that area. And we don't do that in the right way, it's going to play out as selfishness and ego. And then that's how we start to manifest a mistake when we're trying to go for our passions and motivations. If it's predicated on the basis of being too self-centered or egotistic or too selfish in some way that can't no other energy be aligned to it, even if you tried. Then for the most part, the sun is our actions of what we see, and all of us is wearing our emotions on our sleeves. So the things we care about is the things that we want to see. So that's what we're acting on, but that's going to be more predicated on emotional intelligence, what's not to be seen and what should just be shown, that it'll manifest more comfort zones other than vulnerability. And every now and then, that right there, when you clash these two things together, it might blend in into a certain way where we don't know how to match the volume of the steam. Because when it comes to passionately expressing a feeling, can't always care about vulnerability and someone gonna feel a different way about it. Aries and Chiron. When it comes into expressing some type of emotional intelligence so it can match the mood, you're not always going to be guaranteed that you're going to match the mood. So you have to have more of an initiative energy when it comes to being more self-caring about your own emotion, regardless of other people validate it or not. And when these things is not mixed well, you might create a situation where you're not expressing your creativity because of your emotional mood, or your emotional mood is allowing you to express your creativity with certain forms of resistance in it, where it make another person not so open to it because of how you're coming across. AKA, you might be passionate about something, but the way you expressing it is like a crybaby, or you might be expressing it like you're self-entitled or something like that. So instead of you going in front of that music exec and just speaking your talent, you might make a mistake going there with your passions. With Chiron, going there alone, and instead of just singing or rapping or something like that, you got a whole crybaby story also with it. Like, yeah, I ain't never did this and that, and nobody did this and that. So then now the Cancer Sun and the Chiron Aries is going to meet that frustration 90-degree angle where, you probably talented as ever, but your mood that you in going to make the record exec look at you like, I'd rather wait till someone else come. You know what I'm saying? To sign them. So you got to be careful during this particular time too with the Aries, Chiron, and the Sun in Cancer. And just express the care, Sun in Cancer, for the passion that we're trying to individualize, Aries and Chiron. But then if we try to put on our energy onto someone else to make them feel the way we feel, the record exec might not feel that way. You know what I'm saying? The record exec might not, for an example, you might got a hit song because you just broke up in a relationship or whatever like that. But the record exec might be at the moment of only thinking about party songs. Like they might got Taylor Swift in their mind right now. Thank you so much for the donation to Everyone's Universe. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. So yeah, even though a few months ago that record exec probably was doing that, but see, if you're not having your emotional intelligence of the room and you're losing your own emotional intelligence, and then you're going for your passions, the Aries and Chiron, you're in front of the music exec, then but see, the Sun in Cancer might come out, which you might show might be negligent, and then you might express a heartbreak song, and the manager at the moment might be looking for people for party songs because Taylor Swift just sold a lot of records. Like, I'm just making this an example. Y'all know how to put this in your own life. You know what I'm saying? But like stuff like that. Just right now, just have a little bit more emotional intelligence, and therefore you won't meet the resistance or the mistake when it comes for you going for your individual passions, motivations, and desires, aka Aries and Chiron. You know what I'm saying? But I just like to break down scenarios so y'all can take that in your own life and understand that in all aspects. Like you could be going through any situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could be going through an argument at your job, at work or something like that. You'll be able to still know how to, you know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for the donation. 87 Sparker. I appreciate that from my mom. Or with a family member, or with a friend or a coworker. You'll still be able to take what I just said and just add it to any scenario. You might be going to the county fair, and I know the fair is about to start popping and stuff now. If they haven't already, which I know like that kind of went down a little bit. Fireworks and all that type of stuff, like they don't really sell them as much as they used to and stuff, and fairs. Like it was a lot more fairs the past couple of years, well, probably before COVID. Like right now, it's like I don't see that as much no more. You know what I'm saying? But thank goodness they still got a little bit of stuff still out for people before they turn everybody into robots. Now, also, Moon trine Mercury in Cancer. So we're gonna have this gift of being able to make whatever we got on our mind make sense, and what we making it make sense out of also is our emotional state, and our emotional state may not always make sense right now due to the fact of the moon being in Pisces, and it may be a little hard for you to even express yourself if you are a sun, moon, or ascendant Sagittarius, Virgo, or Gemini. Thank you so much for the Cash App. I will say your name just like the last person, but I gotta wait to see if that's a troll or not. Then I'll say your name, because I be having haters that come out of nowhere. And like, I don't know why they be so invested like that. Pardon me. But I think that was Ricardo. Okay, you ain't no troll. Appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I be fighting like 5, 6 wars in the spirit world. All right. Also, uh, so we also got the moon in conjuncting Mars and Venus. So you have to make sure that you don't create too many misunderstandings when it comes to your passions, motivations, and your desires, and your love language and things of that nature. Because it's just a conjunction. It doesn't necessarily have to meet frustration like the 90-degree angle, but it might be a misunderstanding. So all it takes is understanding, conversation, talking, reaching a point in some way, shape, or form. So that's what in conjunctions. And when you don't take those routes, you allow the in conjunction or the misunderstanding to accumulate in an area it didn't necessarily need to be, for negative or positive. That you could miss opportunities or block opportunities when there's in conjunctions based upon lack of reaching an understanding. And reaching an understanding doesn't always mean something started negative. Now also moon moon sextile Uranus and Jupiter. So keep this in mind too. These are going to be opportunities to expand on your emotional space. So this is going to be the main attributes right here. What I be talking about, that dreams come true. You know what I'm saying? Your dreams or your emotional state or what you put a lot of care in can actually come true right now. You just have to start putting in the effort and show externally all that internal care that you got for that object, project, person, place, or thing, or circumstance, or situation, or business. And all you have to do is all the pent up energy you have. As soon as you start to express it, you're going to start to see all the opportunities, even if opportunities come that you wasn't necessarily expecting, or even opportunities you didn't necessarily know was going to come that you didn't necessarily want. You're just going to start seeing more openings and stuff like that that can lead to your dream or your possibility into that space that you want to be in anyway. And it's going to show you the route of that you need to take to get there. And the route is going to be the circumstance, the things you get connected with as far as the abilities on your mind and how you start to act on these things and how it start to produce people, places, and things in your life as interactions for it to start to reach that destination physically. You know what I'm saying? And also we got so with the moon sextile in Uranus, you just have to take your emotional state and you have to make sure it's unique and it's your individual path, not always considering someone else on your path and you letting someone else take that path by devaluing yourself. No, your path is your path. The person for you is the person for you. The job for you, the circumstance for you, the family for you, the opportunity for you is for you. And every now and then, this sometimes we pass up jobs, we pass up relationships, we pass up circumstances, we pass up opportunities, being in a position of constantly comparing and contrasting and acting out our energies by making a decision based on looking at how others treat others. And that's the wrong way of going about it. Us is here to get ours and things of that nature. And when we put ourselves in that attribute, we end up start to realize this is what everybody do in the world. So anytime we allowed somebody to take our position at the volleyball game or the basketball game, we purely allowed it. And we always have to understand that. Sometimes we get into a mind frame where, no, it was just meant to be this way, especially if something didn't go in our favor to make ourselves feel right. We'd say, oh, it was just meant to go this. And no, it just meant you ain't get yours. People get up and take theirs. They take their opportunity. And that goes for all things. You know what I'm saying? Business, career, circumstances, situations. So we sit there and give someone else power over our ability to what we do and how we would come across and what we think the reaction will be, then that's when we allow others in the world that may be weaker than you to take over. You know what I'm saying? Which you don't have to. A lot of y'all done let things just breeze by y'all by being in that type of energy. And the universe, I don't know, fuck the universe, forget the universe, but life is pushing you, and your spirit should be pushing you into knowing that, okay, yeah, it's time to fight against that. Time to fight against that and stuff like that, because this is how you state your claim, and this how how you even manifest in the first place. That fight, because you're like, no, I'm here, no, I changed this, No, this ain't getting past me. You know what I'm saying? The universe can't stand that, but that's when you wake up. That's when you wake up. And that's when things start going right. Even when you think it's going wrong, no, it's going right. A lot of y'all was in the most worst relationships ever, but when you first got out of that relationship, you thought it was the worst time of your life ever. And nah, that ain't the fact. Really, God saved your life. It's just before you can see it. And you might try to fight it and stuff like that and be blocked from actual people, places, and things you can actually be connected to and stuff like that. You won't never see them, never connect, never be interested, never even be aware of it because you'll be lost in something. And a lot of times, God be saving y'all life. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be sitting around for months and months and months thinking that's the worst period of time in your life until God take you through a more depressing situation to show you, listen, I'm opening all kind of doors and stuff for you that you just trying to act like you're unable to see and stuff like that. And I don't know what kind of more frustrating thing I got to put you through for you to see it. But you keep not using your mind right, I'm going to take your mind from you. And you ain't going to have no mind and nobody to use anyway. So you don't want to go down that line of reasoning and train of thought. So you need to go ahead and get with the program. Let's go ahead and get straight with the program right now. Get with the program right now. You don't be missing no opportunities and stuff like that. And then don't be thinking rejections and stuff like that is a failure. That's not a failure. That's an artillery to adjust so you can be pointed in the right direction if you couldn't see in the first place. And here's the thing. God don't even be trying to take people through rejection and stuff. God be trying to see if you are strong enough to do it. The only time really humans and stuff experience rejection, they separate from God. They trying to do something so much in outside way in that they can manipulate themselves. They actually be the ones who manifest the rejection themselves. It don't even be having nothing to do with God. God don't even be the one stopping people being like, nah. It be themselves. The person be their worst enemy. It's all, and we all went through it on a percentage scale. But the faster you know how to wake up and realize that, the faster you get closer to God. You see what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of people be using fake Christianity and stuff and be saying, oh, it's the universe and you got to do this for the universe. All of this is Lucifer and creating God. God don't got nothing, all possibilities ain't got nothing to do with none of that. And the only reason you probably experiencing that because you separate from God, because you distant, because you wasn't listening, because you wasn't seeing what God was putting, not the other way around. God just forced you to be through something because you the chosen one and God picked you to go through hardship. No, it's because how you think you took yourself through it and you separated from God. And the more closer you get back to God, the more you'll realize that, and you won't feel alone no more, even if you is by yourself or in a room full of 1,000,000 people, but just y'all in different spaces spiritually. So you still feel alone. You won't feel alone in none of those areas and stuff like that. And you won't feel like you're victimized or generational cursed by ancestors and stuff like that, because you'll realize that that's all of those are concepts of people and spirits who separated from God, not who close to God. You know what I'm saying? If you close to God, you could be the sickest person in the world and things of that nature, and it won't be like that. It'll actually be you here to even teach people who got them illness, who got that cancer or whatever like that. So it's like God will have you here in all kind of circumstances, no matter what. You could be the person in the wheelchair, that's the depressing family member that just end up being Uncle Fester on the Addams Family and stuff like that and never come out. Or you could be the person in the wheelchair and you got the same 24 hours your whole family got and you became richer than them. Faster than them because you didn't allow the wheelchair. You made energy out the wheelchair, so you made a character out of your vulnerability. You made light of your heavy situation. God loved that type of stuff. When God see powerful spirits know how to do that, God, like, this individual is not allowing the 1, 2, and third dimension to affect them, to redirect their thoughts and feelings, to make their spirit feel like they have to be at peace only because of the external world and validation. That's living backwards. God, that's ugly. God, that's the devil living backwards. If you want to actually live, you got to invert it. And God look at that spirit like, okay, that spirit created their own thought and feeling. in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension about they one, two, and third dimensional circumstance, them being in a wheelchair. So that character matters more when it bend into the one, two, and third dimension. So they put in way more positive energy than the person in the wheelchair that put in all that negative energy and things of that nature. So their actions is being directed into not being seen and caring more about validation and throwing extreme fits and trauma fits and stuff like that, because when a family is not helping the way they supposed to and stuff like that, because you know they get tired too of wiping somebody's ass, then at the same time the one that still go through those same frustrations but able to transmute it, they gonna put themselves in a situation they can't stop. They got to turn people away from offering wiping their ass, even from people who ain't family members. Shit, it's probably publicists, managers, all kind of shit. They got to sometimes pick and choose who they can, because they didn't manifest it so much. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you got to know what side you on, no matter your circumstance or situation. And that's how you know if you're closer to God or not. Thank you so much for the donation, Mellow the Star, man. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. And that's how you know if you're closer to God. You didn't allow your one, two, and third dimensional circumstance to change your thoughts and feelings. You changed your thoughts and feelings yourself. So you had godly constant dissonance. But you also was aware of your one, two, and third dimension. So you was able to make an alchemy out of it. You wasn't running away from it. Like it's a vulnerability and all the way to large and small percentage levels, trying to hide your sweat, not allow people to see you sweat. So even when you have extreme frustrating days, you have to be frustrated with yourself on how much you're going to allow the others to see how much you're going through frustration. Like all of that is just that turned into suicidal thoughts. You see what I'm saying? Being in those type of spiritual spaces where you more mad at yourself that you have to be frustrated around others based on a circumstance. You see what I'm saying? Thank you so much for the relationship. So prolific. And there's a large amount of the world, and I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. This is what 95% of the world is going through right now. And this is another reason why pages like mine is demonetized, because they don't want people like me coming to these type of people, because they need these type of people to be in like still Christianity and stuff and aliens and stuff like that. And if I'm not saying anything that have anything to do with that, yet I'm making sense out of mental illness and stuff like that, it's like they know that that's one of the purest states of the thing they got control over, and the thing of how their community, corporation, country can continuously be ran. So they don't really care about if something works or not. They more care about the intellectual property and who believe in it. You see what I'm saying? So it's not about if their religion and their concepts work or not. It's more about us believing it. They care more about us believing it than it actually working or not. So it don't matter if you come in with new intelligence, almost down to like Dr. Sabi and stuff like that. It doesn't matter how helpful, how peaceful, how non-harmful it is to humanity. That's not the point in their eyes. In their eyes, it's going to steer people away from believing their concepts of things, which leads into a whole bunch of other areas that they need us to do, but we won't be able to do it if that first starting block is no longer a belief. So it could be the most retarded thing that they always updating as the top of the pyramid block, but sometimes they have to uphold it because the things under it is ran from it. So anytime we wake up and look at the top pyramid block like it's stupid, they have to adjust it. And how they adjust that generative principle is seeing how we're reacting and responding. And based on our level of intelligence and wisdom and comprehension skills, they're able to adjust their, which get ready to become old and outdated, watchtower, top of the pyramid block scheme. And then they're getting ready to change that so it can suit all the other blocks that was built up under it, quote unquote, their corporation, country, civilization to continue to run. So this is why a lot of times they fall short when it comes to their intellectual property that they throw out on us, like Walt Disney television shows, news narratives, like the Alien and the other thing, the submarine, and all these other circumstances and stuff like that. They're basically seeing how woke we are right now, and based upon our level of comprehension and awareness, that shows them how far to treat us when they get ready to develop their new limited hangout websites and information that they're getting ready to pour into it, that really just could redirect us into doing what they want us to do anyway. But the information that they may present to us on these limited hangout websites may be things that suit to our biases, maybe things that we could start utilizing as form of intellect to teach others and things of that nature, like we're still being rebellious. And then that's how they can put us in a small percentage scale using different words, still making us rebellious, which is why YouTube can demonetize individuals who not even trying to harm a fly, but yet demonetize us for the pure purposes of promoting the war that's actually going on. And they are actually hurting people. So it become a weird, sticky game if you don't got enough wittiness or witty banner and spiritual self-evaluation, and you a teacher and you don't got the right wording to explain this. It become a tricky game because sometimes you can not be sure if you're teaching what they want you to teach or if you're actually waking people up. And that's the fight I'm here to fight. You see what I'm saying? Because it's so tricky. It's so sticky in this world right now. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for the donation, Wayne and Crescent. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. And like, sometimes I be wanting to cry just seeing that from a distance, because it's like you don't know where to start, but you know there's something needs to be done. And that could get real foggy right there. You know what I'm saying? It's a real foggy space because you see how far and you see how much stuff needs to be done before a goal could be reached. And that could be withdrawn. That could be too heavy for a spirit, a community of spirits, to the point that it'll make you quick, hurry in a second, get into the same energy that the government is in and things of that nature, where they feel like, hey, only a small, to the point that if you was to reach that position with your community, you might understand a negative energy, which is negative in totality. You see what I'm saying? But based on everything you had to go through or with your community, you might feel it's justified to feel like how they feel due to the fact of how the world is. And they made it a dog-eat-dog world. You know what I'm saying? So don't never forget that. And it's not your fault that you in a circumstance or situation that you in, so don't be too hard on yourself either. The best thing you could do is just try to change the circumstance and then work for God. And you'll be doing things that they can't stop anyway, regardless of demonetizing, regardless of anything. You see what I'm saying? Because it goes beyond that. They got weird fart cloud golems that float around like entities that they put a lot of energy in. And all you have to do is interact with a concept of that. And you will automatically witness a blockage in your life by those spirits in that form, creating that energy blockage for whatever opportunity, and it will block you from even seeing it because it'll make you think you have to do this, that, and the third before even reaching, which you really can't see because they make you distracted into the this, that, and the third. And it's like floating around. They're not even in people yet. And if you act out the energy enough and if you fucking enough, they can become your child. But sometimes it come out the birth out of your head. It becomes your circumstance and situation. And you find yourself binded into the physical magic square of the responsibilities of the government and stuff like that in order to feel like you're even surviving and stuff like that. Man, this fart cloud that you breathe as soon as you go outside is deep. If you're really able to see it, especially through my lens. You know what I'm saying? And probably the closest person to probably see it through my lens is a female that I'm deeply connected to. But based on that coming together, that'll peer out into the world, and then we'll all be on one path, and then we'll actually know how to not get affected in the world while being a group, a team, while teamwork makes the dream work. And then we have our own anti-Shemetics or whatever like that, and have our own networking programs to the point that we can fire them for 2 weeks or whatever like that if they present us a commercial that they want us to broadcast on our network and that look like something that we don't like with our spiritual predecessors, something that look like it's sarcastic with our ancestors or some stuff like that. Oh no, oh, that's not getting broadcast. And since we got the majority of the world, you see what I'm saying, that's the esoteric currency. And then that manifests as we can make anything out of that energy down here, especially if we get it, direct that energy towards bargaining and gain. We could cut down our own trees and put our own faces and make that more important to the point that no one even cares about spilling their dollars or Bitcoin because we didn't put all the energy into something else to make people bargain. So it has to get that deep to a certain level. But when you look at the world from a distance at this point right now, you know all the levels and ups and downs and mental gymnastics that may have to take for that to get done. And for just even a small group of individuals, that could seem like the world is on their shoulders and things of that nature. But just sparking that awareness and letting that be out, each one teach one, and all of us being aware of this right now, that makes it possible. So it may not be today, may not be this eon, but it's a possibility that's getting ready to expand the universe because we here now connecting in that manifestation. You see what I'm saying? We're speaking out the breath, and that's a form. All kind of spirits is becoming aware inside of that, getting ready to come into existence, whether through people, other forms, as species and stuff, and the world is getting ready to be what we speak. Now look, everything's created with the word. You better believe it. Now look, check this out. But then we also got like Mercury sextile Uranus. So in Taurus. So we all gonna have this opportunity to be able to take these new thoughts that we're trying to change, new thoughts, cardinal, water, cardinal, that we actually care about. And if we utilize it in the right way, we will create opportunities to change our life in some way, shape, or form. And change Uranus. And what we're changing. Where's Uranus at? Taurus. And if you're doing it in a higher octave way, you're going to like changing those things because you're going to be changing your stability, your security, your money, your material, all that good Taurus stuff. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This new thing that you just put together, it's going to be so sufficient. It's going to take years to even break. And make sure you're directing that towards your relationships, your business, your career. These are the things you need to be directed at towards, not no flunked out thought, feeling, or emotion, especially predicated on the past due to the fact of these retrograde energies also. You see what I'm saying? And Neptune. And once you get to 1, 2 together and stuff like that, now you're good to go. And your imagination is not going to manifest as a delusion. It's going to manifest as people looking at it like it's creative. And you're able to put yourself in a position where even if it's not right now, it's possible that you're going to manifest that dream home, family, or comfort zone. See what I'm saying? So that's the space you want to be in right now. And speaking about all possibilities and God a lot and things of that nature, it's a lot of spiritual energy going on right now due to all these energies of water, fire, and earth. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of separating us from the thought and devil's advocate energy and being logical and being more superficial. We're more indulged in superstition right now. It's too much fire and water in the sky. And then earth, that earth that's helping the water is trying to make sense out of the more spiritual stuff, trying to make sense out of the more stuff that resonate with our feelings and stuff like that. So with the lack of air, we're truly deeply invested into right now superficial instead of superstition instead of superficial. Now, there's a lot of creativity that can be manifested during this particular time. If you're an artist, you probably blow up off a song talking about, yo, I crossed the sidewalk street crack and my grandma back might crack or something like that. You probably make it, don't split the pole, you might lose your soul. You say something, might be some stupid 3-second TikTok video, blow up or something like that, something dumb like that. But the stuff like that, when you act out the energies and just be doing what you do and going with the waters and stuff, anything can happen. Like anything. Like you could, like, especially when it comes into that Taurus energy right now with Uranus and Jupiter. The universe, all possibilities want you to expand and use the universe like a slut. So I want you to use the universe. Since the universe want to wear some big girl granny panties or some big man Batman draws and stuff like that, aka Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus, then you use that energy and you don't add too much thoughts and feelings unless you're trying to transmute it. If you add too much thoughts and feelings and your spirit get lost into it, you're allowing the universe to do something with you. And the universe always wants you to please it. So to please it, you got to go through a frustrating situation. Nobody got time for that. The universe ain't nothing but a big crybaby. No, you demand the universe. So you demand what you want to think and feel, how you want to act on they draws they got on. The universe draws they got on right now. Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus. You know what I'm saying? So you demand what you want to change and what you're unique about. Or you just going to allow the universe and all the agents in it to make you docile and act around them and act around it and act around that place and stuff like that because you don't want to look unnormal or you don't want to know. What you're not doing is you just not expressing your true self. So God is not manifesting and bringing the things in front of you to support that. So God say suffer in uncomfortability, suffer in feeling vulnerable. Until you learn how to do it in areas where it actually manifests as you being vulnerable and you being scared a little bit, but you know how to deal with it, then I'm gonna bring people around you and places and things that actual energy itself is your comfort zone. And you got people around you that support and things around you and objects and places to go that's in the same energy where you don't have to feel like, should I express myself this way? Because that place is your energy. It matches your energy. So the people, places, and things there is doing the same thing or in the same mannerism is you. So when you express yourself, you don't have to feel like the first thing you got to look at is somebody's body language or somebody's facial feature, or listen closely what somebody's saying, so you can consider if you acting the right way in this situation or not. That lets you know you all washed up in the universe at that point. You all washed up in the universe. You know what I'm saying? You didn't allow you in the relationship you in with you didn't let them put on the pants. You know what I'm saying? So if you a female, you didn't let this divine masculine portion of the universe, as you being in a relationship with it, you allowed them to act too much like a beta male. If you a man, you allowed this universe female you in a relationship with put on the pants. So now you can, life is beating you up. Thank you so much for the donation, nerd Barbie Brandon. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. Because what I'm trying to explain to y'all is you might come across a lot of things and people might make you feel like the universe is for you. No, this body made out of this. This teamwork makes the dream work. You can't even agree with everybody's thoughts. So it's about changing. So you need to look at the universe like this is what you in a relationship with and everything in it. Your body, your mind, every person, place, or thing, object. They all make one thing. This person, this thing you're in a relationship with. And the only thing between you, the only thing between it and God is you, your spirit, your individual soul. Everything you made and everything inside of it you a part of, that's that one universe. Everything that's not that, that's God. All possibility. The only thing that stands between that is you. And just too often you let the universe separate you from God, and everything in the universe take you away and distract you. And then it takes so much deep lostness in the universe for you to get out of it. Sometimes you have to lose yourself to find yourself. That's when you get back to God. But sometimes it's hard to see God because of everything you went through. So then when you do get to God, you're not even necessarily seeing God. You're actually seeing a form you're in, blinding you from all possibility. And you looking at all the situations that you was limited in as a either self-entitled or either a resentment or either this is life or whatever. It's just you having a big argument with the universe. You're not paying attention to God. You see what I'm saying? But what separate the universe is you from God. You know what I'm saying? And every now and then, when you understand that you are here to do things for God, you're here to change the universe for God, not allow the universe to change you and separate you from God. Thank you so much for the donation, Vision Neil. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. That's when you know that you're on that right path. You're here to change the universe. You're not here to be of the universe. The universe is the world. You're here to be of the world, not in it. Pardon me. So when you're bringing all possibilities, which is nothing, to something, that's you bringing something new to the universe. That's you being demanding. You know, you don't let the universe demand nothing out of you. You demand everything out the damn universe. You see what I'm saying? And when you treat the universe like that, you get what you ask for. And the universe don't understand words. They understand the vibe. So how you feel and think about yourself is how the universe gonna treat you. Anything outside of you is only gonna treat you how you choose to show yourself. So if you choose to show yourself in the universe world, that's your thoughts and feelings. And if you got consonant dissonance, regardless of what you already manifested in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, then that's you demanding the universe to manifest what you is adding to it, because you understand how we all originally add. That's our first body and things of that nature. Anytime you get lost, the universe creates circumstances like it's dangling something in front of you and always have to make you reach a goal. Always have to make you reach a certain destination. Always have to make you do some type of routine or pattern that you won't never feel fulfilled when you get to when you start to do it. You won't never get crumbs and things of that nature. Almost like how the shadow government rock y'all to sleep with how they try to give y'all Indiana Jones stories to try to make it seem like y'all ancestors gave y'all certain powers that no one see in reality and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not a power to be in bondage for 2,000 years. You know what I'm saying? And somebody gave y'all that rhetoric with their language to make y'all feel like whatever entity put y'all through that because of something. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no entity did nothing but nothing. Your mother and father was fucking and you got here. You self-identifying with any other kind of generational curse is shame on you. You don't want to keep manifesting that, do you? You really have to understand. when people be speaking sometimes, they'll say that whatever that they worship helped them through a trial, a turbulent situation. But what they fail to realize, they wouldn't have even manifested that trial and tribulation without that entity. That entity is what's putting them through these things. You know what I'm saying? A person who don't even have them beliefs or into these type of things wouldn't be in these locations for events to play out in certain ways for a person to even say they were saved by something. So this is like being possessed. When you're picking up a spirit based on a word with a meaning behind it and other spirits who put energies in it. Once you add access to it and you play these things out in your own life, you manifest similar circumstances. That's you identifying with a generational curse that may not necessarily be yours. Now you having similar experiences you may not necessarily had to experience in your time you was born, and you just took an esoteric bullet because you're joining in esoteric energies based on teamwork makes the dream work. That's why I be telling y'all sometimes you got to be careful with that ancestor word, spiritual predecessor. That don't even always lead to a fucking human. Who said every spirit was in human forms? We see mad forms here that ain't human now, as far as species, sea creatures, and all kind of stuff. So my spiritual ancestors, it goes beyond being in a human form. You know what I'm saying? So I got spiritual predecessors. Spirit just means a spirit beyond the forms it created to be in, such as ones like humans and minds that is in at the moment. And predecessor just means what have came before you. That's it. Spirits before me. I take it no step further, or I get lost into thinking one of my spiritual predecessors is what y'all call as an ancestor. So it was a spirit in a human body. And shit, goddamn it, I got spiritual predecessors that was in all forms that I can't even think of right now, but me having that train of thought and line of reasoning makes me more intelligent and have more wisdom in my dialogue. So I'm picking up some messages from some goddamn where, and I refuse to call it goddamn ancestors. I'm saying. Because everything I'm being taught ain't human. And I know that for a fact. But it can help humanity. You better believe that. And it can help y'all reach a new glorified body. New organs, new beautiful ways of living, and beautified worlds and stuff like that, and everybody be beautiful. The concept of ugly don't exist in that concept. That term's concept, everybody beautiful. How y'all mind, fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, and 1, 2, and third dimension have been diluted by other people who have created the dream world, such as the Masons and stuff like that. So once you get a whole bunch of ways how they want to be, and things like books that help them with their insecurities, you will take these, you will identify with these generational curses and be playing these things out. And none of these are even your issues. And these is how they keep y'all up under their system. And when you act these things out, you only get crumbs of it anyway. And these be things that they striving to be. They want to be robots. They want to be transhuman. They want to not have miscellaneous jawlines and Balenciaga Trump hat waistlines anymore. That's them. You didn't come down here with them issues, but they made y'all did. And the more you get lost, they put them hormone Marvel comic serum shots in the food and stuff like that, and made all y'all look like them, and made all y'all grow beards like them. But they the only ones who come from the bloodline of bluegill fish guppies. You gotta understand that. You gotta understand. Like, this deep game. Like every 300 years when we were making mutts, because we're gonna do this anyway. The natures and the facial features come out from the mental states we in as spirits. We keep allowing them to have more percentage scale over all the intellectual property of how we live things and how we connect and interact with each other to understand each other. They own 97% of that. Our 3% is just us participating, being the small hand government ruling large percentage of the world. You know what I'm saying? That's how deep it is. It's real tricky out here if you don't understand spirituality. The actuality of it. It's so much fake woke stuff out here right now, it's diluted. You can't know which the wolf or the poodle. Thank you so much for the donation, Julius Payne. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Ooh, it's getting ready to be cuddle because it was hot. It's getting ready to be cuddle weather right now. So I got to finish my website. I cuddle with my creativity for now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, y'all hear that? Oh, I'm about to go in the studio. The website about to be done, or at least all the classes. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've been taking time on too, and I've been getting burnt out. Man, I've been having to stretch out on the floor. Got damn near ruined my whole 4th of July for real. I ruined I missed the whole 4th of July. You know what I'm saying? But yay. You know what I'm saying? But hard work pays off. Hard work pays off in all realms. Even if you working spiritually, if you working spiritually, it's gonna manifest into the 1, 2, and third dimension as a new opportunity or a new ability that you ain't had before. And that ability plays out as the both sides of it, an idea and a feeling, and then that bends in as an action. And then when you start doing it, you brought something new down here to support yourself or solidify yourself. You know what I'm saying? And in totality, by default, you're doing something for God, because anytime you bring an ability down here is for God. It ain't, you're not copying or you're not just trying to participate in something. Because here's the thin line between bringing something new and doing something that's already here, where it could be like it's copying. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it. So if you're doing something for God, you could be doing something the shadow government have already created, right? But you're transmuting that energy. So you already took something as an ability to transform something, and now you're transmuting an energy that's already here. So you could be the face of it. So you're doing something everybody else is doing, but you're doing it in a more unique way. So it'll still be perceived as you doing something new, even if you're in a field of doing something everybody else is doing, such as like the music industry or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't what you do, is how you do it. But as long as you with God, God got a position for you in all areas. You know what I'm saying? You'll feel the strength, you'll feel the ability. You'll be like, yeah, I got this ability nobody got. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, even if you playing soccer like everybody else, when you're doing it for God, you'll feel it like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever Michael Jordan tapped into, for him to jump from the free throw line and dunk, that took something else other than him just playing basketball like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But then, you know, how I'm trying to teach y'all is you create the NBA. You do some Ice Cube type stuff. That's the level we need to be on now. But like I said, even if you do, God got a position for everybody. Ain't nothing wrong with nothing. Everybody needed in all areas, so we still could come together at the end, and we all got our position. Ain't no position lower than no other one. So don't even look at it like that either. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all are here to show the beauty salon you the best at doing hair and nails, or you the best at shooting that football, or you know what I'm saying, or catching you know what I'm saying, field goals and stuff like that in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all are here for that. Here to be the best rappers, here to be the best singers and stuff like that, and in front of the shadow government, and then here in the time right now to listen to a person like me. So you got a better way of going about it, and you could protect yourself and still persevere. So you could go in and out of these clubs just like Ghazi and them, and not go in and out of these clubs just like a disposable artist. And you got to almost have a military for you to do a pop-up. But these people who signed you and gave you the money for all that energy, they go to these same locations and go to the limousine, nice and peace. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, something got to be changed in some way, shape, or form. And I don't want it to flip the tables on trying to make them have to be in harm. And then how can we just can't all get to an even ground? We have to change the system itself. The system is set up a lot of times for it to even be like that, how I'm explaining. Thank you so much for the donation, Vimwadi. It's set up just for that. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. Just participating, you're getting gang stock. Just by participating, it's set up in a magic square for like you to play out a certain narrative that may not have the outcome of something that you dreamed about. But the starting point of what you're participating in may be certain experiences to make you feel like you're living your dream. You know what I'm saying? Your dream will turn into a nightmare like that just because of what part of what industry you in and what kind of government narrative they're trying to create as an influence to push out in the world at the moment. And you will be used as a vessel for that narrative. And sometimes it deals with death. So you got to be careful. Learn how to get in and out before you get in too deep and you can't get out unless it's through. Because that's how they do people. They don't care as long as whatever they have to do to make the majority of the world believe something, whether it's real or not, or if it works or not, that's the level that they go through. Ain't nothing more scarier than the grave lengths and levels that the Resident Evil Umbrella Corporation will go through to make y'all believe something. Always remember that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you can't always put a lot of eggs or a lot of energy on the shoulders of people you're around, because 9 times out of 10, on all percentage levels, they're agents. You know what I'm saying? You can't be expressing too much if you're not genuinely around a soul group, soul tribe type of circumstance. Know how to treat people where they at, so you don't create no bridge burning situations, no animosity where it doesn't have to be, and then you're able to go through freely what you're trying to do with no blockages or no animosity or anything. You're creating the situation for you. You're not allowing the situation to create itself for you. You're creating the situation for yourself. When you allow the universe to do something, you're going to get into an argument. There's going to be something that make you be frustrated and make you have to give some blood, sweat, and tear or extreme thought or feeling frustration to. And that's a subsidiary concept of understanding you arguing with the universe. You're in a relationship at the moment. And don't get too deep into that argument, because you're going to lose yourself and separate from God and be doing all the things the universe is trying to show you to do. And sometimes it takes 10, 15 years to wake up out of that slump. Yeah, the universe don't be about nothing. But when you got God, you the only thing that stand between God and you. God left the universe a long time ago. So you're going to only be a representation for God. But the knowledge God give you and you could be used as a vessel for it, some good game. You know what I'm saying? And it help you more than anything. It ain't going to help God. God been there, done that. It help you more than anything. So God help those that help themselves. You see what I'm saying? And it's going to help you more than anything. So you want to go ahead and do it for God anyway. It don't matter. You see what I'm saying? The universe is just here to hurt you. God is here to help you. You know what I'm saying? So anytime you're going through hurt, that's because of the universe. Anytime you come up with ability to get out of that, that was God. That ain't had nothing to do with the universe. That was God. You know what I'm saying? And this is how you know that's a fact. You ain't. It's hard to explain it. See, it's easy to explain things in the universe. You'd be like, oh, this person, this place, and then that always leads to victimizing and stuff like that. When you catch an ability, it'd be hard for you to explain where you got that from. Matter of fact, sometimes you save your breath from explaining it. You just go ahead and direct that towards a gift or a talent, and you might say something like what have been done for you that you know in your mind a person still won't understand it. But that's as far as it go when you with God. That's as far as it go. You know what I'm saying? Leave it there. Don't make it no further. You know what I'm saying? Because really, the universe really don't even deserve your energy sometimes. Certain people, places, and things in this universe, that's all one part. That's the universe itself. Sometimes it don't deserve you or God's energy. So sometimes go into your peaceful comfort zone and leave things alone. You know what I'm saying? Don't agitate things. Leave it alone and stuff like that. That's you showing the universe it don't deserve your energy. It don't deserve you spending your time with God right now. You know what I'm saying? The hell with that damn bill. The hell with that damn frustrating ass person. You with God right now. You see what I'm saying? And every now and then you got to remind the universe that, because the universe will create circumstances so much, muddy the water so much, you don't have no time for God. Only thing you got time for is everything, your phone ringing every 2 seconds, people frustrate, all that responsibility, yay. Don't let the universe do that to you. You get a little closer to God. God take a lot of them things away and put that back on the universe. Make the universe take responsibility for that. Make some reciprocation develop in your life in some way, shape, or form. That you don't have to feel like everything is you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you know you with God. And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart and stuff like that. I gotta finish getting my car done and I'm hitting the road and stuff. And then so see a lot of y'all in person or however the case may be. And stuff like that. Gonna get things set up and stuff. And we're gonna keep going on with the alignments and keep some spiritual stuff. Since it's early right now, I'll do an open panel on the Ratchet channel tonight. And yeah, I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart.